Hey guys, Alex here, GuitarForce.com. So in today's lesson we're going to take a look at the song called Christmas is the Time to Say I Love You by Billy Squier. And this was kindly requested and supported by Lloyd, so big thanks goes out to him for the support. And usually I don't do these kind of songs, but I thought, you know, it's Christmas and, you know, to put you in a Christmas mood, this is a very good song to actually learn if you're into this kind of stuff. And it's also pretty cool because it's got that kind of bluesy feel to it as well. And the song is, you know, nothing too complicated. It's pretty straightforward, but it's you know, a lot of fun to play it. So we're gonna take a look at this song in today's lesson. The tabs are gonna be available at GuitarForce.com for free. You can find the link in the description box down below. Unfortunately, didn't have a backing track for this song, but you can play to the original song. And we're going to be in standard tuning, and for the sound I was using the same thing, the VST plugin guitar rig. I'm going to show you the preset, the picture of the preset right now, and while you are checking it out I'm going to play you my low E string so you can tune up and play along with this lesson. Alright, so we're going to break up this lesson into parts. We're going to start off with the intro part. And before we start breaking it down, I just want to mention a couple of things. So first of all, we're going to be playing with the swing feel. So instead of playing like straight eighth notes, we're going to be using the swing feel. So it's that kind of rhythm. Second of all, the first part, the intro, it's exactly the same chord progression wise as the rest of the song, the verse, but it's played more of you know, there is a piano and also the guitar is just playing a little bit, adding the harmony with the chords, and a couple of licks that the guitar is playing, but primarily it's just, you know, playing the chords, let them ring out without any rhythm. And also another thing, the chord progression is using sort of some elements of the blues, 12-bar blues progression, which is 12 bars, but in this case this song is 8-bar chord progression, and it has additional chords as well. Alright, so let's start breaking it down. So like I said, the first part is played on a kind of cleaner guitar, and it goes like this. So I'm going to outline the chords, and I'm going to also show you a couple of different variations how you can play these chords. So it starts off with an F sharp, going to B, back to F sharp, and then there is a lick played here. After that we have again F sharp, D sharp minor, going to G sharp minor. Then we have the second part of the chord progression. We have B. The next chord is going to be C diminished. Then we have a C sharp 7 or C sharp major chord. Then we have again D minor, D sharp minor, G sharp minor, and then we have the C sharp, either major chord or again the 7, and then we have F sharp, and then we have the build up. Alright, so I'm going to stop right here. So as you can see also from the tablature, so each of the chords, the first bar is played for half a bar. Sorry, it's an F major. Also keep in mind that we're playing this in standard tuning, so if you would tune down the guitar you would have to shift everything up one fret. So if you're playing in E flat for example, and chords like you know, the D sharp minor, which is E flat, the same note. You can play it with an open chord, but we're not gonna get into that. We're just gonna play it in standard tuning. So again, back to the beginning, the F sharp major for half a bar, then we have B for half a bar, back to F sharp major. Here we have this lick. So it's kind of like playing a suspended 4 by hammering onto here, onto the 4th fret on the G string. So, and then we are just picking the high E and B strings. Then we have again hammer on pull off, a quick hammer on pull off, and then just going down the chord, okay? Like that. So we stay on this chord for a whole bar, and then again we play F sharp major for half a bar, then we go to D sharp minor, then we go to G sharp minor. Here we stay at the whole bar. Then we have the B major, then we have the C diminished chord. Now there are different shapes how you can fret the C sharp diminished chord. I'm sorry, C diminished chord, but this is kind of just a standard using the 5th string root note, like that. Now, just a side note, so pretty much almost all of the chords you can play them as the power chords. And that's what he's playing in the original song, kind of when he goes into the verses, but we're going to get into that. But if you follow the harmony, you know, this chord is going to be a diminished. Then the next one is going to be C sharp, either major or 7. You know, either works. And then we have D sharp minor again for half a bar. Then we have G sharp minor, half a bar, and then we have C sharp. Again, either major or 7. And because this chord is the 5th chord of the F sharp major key, because we're in the F sharp major key here, the C sharp is almost all the time is a dominant chord. But again, you can play it as a power chord. And then F sharp major chord we played for, now here is the time signature change. We just played in 3/4, so it's 3 beats, 1, 2, 3. And then they play this transitioning part, which is the kind of the turnaround for the C sharp 7 chord. But they play sort of like a bass line. So played in triplets, so each of the notes will play for 3 times, so it's a 4th fret, 2nd, 1st, and then we go to the low E 4th fret, and then we're back to the beginning. So okay, now this you can play it, so just transposing these notes, not transposing but moving them to the low E string, okay? And later on you'll see also in the tablature that it's at some points it's easier to play them here. I mean, it's more comfortable because you are staying in a kind of, you know, position which is here, so you don't have to move down here, but you can play it either way. Alright, so that's pretty much for the intro. Let me just play it one more time. It's gonna go like this. Now we're moving on to the next part, which is the verse, and the verse is pretty much plays exactly the same progression. We have 2 alternate endings there. I will explain it in just a moment, but pretty much it's exactly the same chord progression. The only difference here is in the rhythm how we play it. So like I said, we're using the swing fill and also a typical kind of blues rhythm. And also another thing is, because it's more of a sort of like a rock ballad, rock blues kind of type of music, we're playing not the whole chords, but primarily kind of like power chords, and even sometimes playing the bass notes. So I will demonstrate that later on when I play the whole progression. So again, it starts off with an F sharp. Okay, so here we're using palm mutes lightly. Then we go to the B, kind of same thing, breaking up the chord into bass notes and the rest of the chord. And then we have, so here the typical, you know, kind of a rock and roll type of rhythm, like that. Then we're back to the F sharp again. Then we go to the D sharp minor. And again, you can play either whole chords or just power chords, either works. Then for the G minor, in the first time when we play this progression, we have. So instead of playing the chord, he's using sort of like a bass line here. So it's. Okay, so it's just playing the G sharp note, then it goes to an octave, and then we have these two notes. So it's. Then we have the second part of the chord progression, which is the you know, kind of half chromatic build up here on the B, going to the C diminished. Now diminished, you can play it either like we did in the beginning with this, or you can just play, like I said, the power chord. So it's, then we have the C sharp 7 or C sharp power chord. Then we go to the D sharp minor again, and then the first ending is going to be. So this ending, we have again the G sharp minor, just like we did in the first part of the end of this first chord progression, where we have, you know, the octaves. And then we go to the C sharp 7 chord, but we again play here as we did in the beginning. Now this one, rhythmically, you can play it either like eighth notes, so you would play it like this, or you can play half of it eighth notes, and then in the end, as you see in the tablature, as a triplets. Or you can play all of them as triplets, doesn't really matter, so it's up to you. Okay, so that's the first ending. And then we go back to the beginning of the verse again, and just continue playing it like that. Okay, so here the second ending, as you can see, when we get to the G sharp minor, now instead of playing the bass line, he just plays sort of like chord, again with breaking it up, playing the bass note first, and it's a C sharp minor. You can play again as minor or just like a power chord. Then we switch to the C7, and again either 7 or the power chord, and then we have the F sharp major, and then for the turnaround we have the C sharp 7. And again, rhythmically you can play all sorts of different rhythms, so either kind of triplets, you know, 2 triplets, or you can just play as you know, straight eighth notes. Not straight eighth note, but the swing fill, like that. All right, so that's that. Now I'm gonna play the whole verse, the 2 times that we have the 2 chord progressions, and now pay attention to the stylistics of how I play it. So like I said, you know, muting the bass notes and then playing the chords kind of also lightly palm muted. Later on I'll explain another way how he's playing the second verse stylistically. Alright, so first I'm going to play it through and then we're going to break it down. So this is the first 2 times of the verse. So it's going to go like this, slowly. Alright, so the second and third times when he's playing the verses, you can hear that he sort of accents some of the chords by hitting them and letting them ring out. So again, it's pretty much exactly the same thing. The chord progression is the same, the chords are the same, the stylistic playing is the same. So kind of breaking up the chord into bass notes, and then we have the chords playing either power chords or, you know, adding somewhere a major third or playing diminished or seventh. It's totally up to you how you want to play it. So you can make it as simple as you want to, or you can make it a little bit more complicated. But the only thing that what I was talking about stylistically, so when we play with the chords ringing out, so he would play it like this. So as you can see, especially in the beginning, you can also hear the whole band is kind of playing in the same field, especially the drums. So he's playing the chords, especially in the beginning, like this. So he plays on the bass notes and then hits the chord and lets it ring out. Like that. And then the bass lines. So generally speaking, in the later verses that he plays this, he's playing a little bit less the bass notes, the bass lines. I'm sorry, especially in the ends of the chord progression in the turnarounds. But you know, you can still kind of mix it up and play it. So he would play more of the chords. Rather than the bass lines. But again, like I said, you can mix them up. You can play them with chords. You can play them just like the bass note, the bass lines, or the chords. So it's totally up to you. All right, so that's pretty much it for the verses up until this moment. Now we're gonna move on to the solo, and just to let you know that during the solo, the rhythm guitar is playing slightly differently, especially in the beginning. So the chord progression now becomes F sharp, B, F sharp, and then again F sharp, B, F sharp. Okay, so he's not playing the second time where we have the F sharp, D minor, G minor, G sharp minor, D sharp minor. But he's just playing twice. F sharp, B, F sharp. Then again, F sharp, B, F sharp. Then we have the second part, B, C, or C diminished, C sharp, or C sharp 7, D sharp minor, G sharp minor, C sharp 7, F sharp. And for the turned around C sharp sound. So the second part is exactly the same as the original, the main chord progression. So that's it for the solo regarding the rhythm guitar. So now we're gonna break up this solo into licks and phrases, and we're gonna start off with the first couple of phrases. Now keep in mind that to me it sounds like it's played with a slide. Now I'm not good at slide, so I'm gonna just play it, with fingers. But the first couple of phrases, I think it's played with a slide. If you can play with a slide, okay, you can use the slide. But if you don't have, or you're not really good with slide, you can still play it with fingers. Anyway, so let's break down the first couple of phrases. They're gonna go like this. Alright, so this phrase starts off on the off beat, so we have the last note of the ending chord of the chord progression. So we go on the 4 and sliding into the first beat of the beginning of the chord progression. So 7 to 8 on the D string, go into the G6 fret, adding some vibrato. Then you pick that note again, slide up 2 frets, go to the B7 fret. So that's the first phrase. And then we have again. So just like the beginning, but we stay on these notes, adding some vibrato for the whole bar. Then we have the next phrase, which is going to go like this. So again, the beginning is exactly the same. In the end, we have from this note, 6th fret on the G string, going up, and we play 11 on the B string. And we have these kind of half a step bends, and then in the end add some vibrato. Now, because of the slide, it might have been when he played this. So either playing that note, picking and sliding up with the slide, or going down and then sliding up to 11th fret. It doesn't really matter, but because we're playing without the slide, you can pick that note, go up, and then switch to the B string. Like that. Like I said, on this note, we are playing some bends, half a step bends, and then in the end adding some vibrato. So this part is, I believe, is played with the slide, and then the second part of the solo is played just with the fingers, and it's going to go like this. Alright, so I'm going to stop right here. So we slide into the 8th fret on the G string. Then we go to the B string 7-9-7, and remember we're playing this in a shuffle rhythm, so the first note longer, second note is shorter. So it's, then we have, so bend up, bring down, pull off. Then we have, so it's a quick pull off, 9-7, and then we have sliding up to 11th fret on the B string. Then we go to high E, 9-11-9. Then we're back to the 9th fret, and we have a bend, release, and quick pull off to the 8th fret here. And then we have this chromatic run down, so it's 8-7-6 going to the 5th fret on the G string. So one more time slowly, this phrase is going to go like this. And then the last phrase of the solo is going to go like this. Okay, so as we have the last note here on the 5th fret on the G string, then we slide again into the 8th fret, go into the B, 7-9, bend it up, bring it down, then we have 6th fret on the G string, then we have 9th fret on the B, bend it up, bring it down, 7th fret, pull off, stay on this note, add some vibrato, then slide up, and just a quick hammer on pull off, 14-16 on the same string, adding some vibrato. Alright, so that's the last part of the solo, the last phrase. So now I'm going to play all of the licks and phrases back to back slowly. Of the whole solo is going to go like this. Alright, so that's it for the solo. After that we continue playing the verses exactly the same way as we did previously, so there is not much to explain there. Again, you can use different variations of the endings, you know, playing the bass lines or the chords, it's totally up to you. The only thing I'm going to point out is the outro, and it's again pretty much exactly the same thing with an exception of where we have the change in the rhythm. And in particular, in the very last part of the chord progression, the second part, where we have, you know, that build-up kind of chromatic from B to C sharp. So basically, what we have here is just we're hitting the chord and let it ring out. These two chords, and then the rest is we continue the same way. The only thing here different is after the C sharp 7, we don't go to the F, but we go to B. And there are a couple of ways how you can end it. So originally, on the original song, there is no guitar, there is a bass playing a line, and then finishing everything, the whole harmony is finishing on the F sharp. But I've written it out, you can play it exactly the same as the bass line, and it's going to go like this. So we play the B chord, then we have a slide, 4 to 6 on the A string, going to the 4th fret on the D, stay on this note a little bit longer, and then we have, sorry, so it's 4th fret on the A, and then you have hammer on pull off on the D string, 4, 6, 4, and then finish off on the B, so it's another variation how you can play it is so here again we play just the chord, then the slide just like we did with the first version, and then again you slide 4 to 6, but then go to the F sharp note, or you can play the note and then play the whole chord. It's totally up to you. And that's pretty much it for the outro, and that's how we end the song. Alright, so the outro, the whole chord progression is going to go like this. Alright guys, so that was it for this lesson. I hope you liked it. If you did like it, please give it a thumbs up. Also comment, share, subscribe if you're new to my channel. Don't forget to visit GuitarForce.com for more guitar lessons. Have a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays, and I'll see you in the next video. Till then, take care, and as always, let the force be with you.